Azhar,
Hmm.
നമ്മൾ ലൈവ് പോയിട്ടുണ്ട്.
ഇപ്പൊ ലൈവാ ഇപ്പൊ ലൈവാണോ?
Camera on Ico. We are actually live on YouTube. We're streaming live on YouTube. So hi
We
guys,
have.
welcome
Hi
to
guys.
Filter Kaappi by Azhar and Rizwan. So this is kind of like a try. Uh, this is like the first time we're going live or streaming live on YouTube. So you can expect us often.
Hello. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
think there
yeah, so we
is.
have our first viewer there. I think it's Emil. So
Okay.
awesome.
Nice.
Welcome to the stream.
Welcome to the stream.
So yeah, what's
Okay.
up?
Good, good, good. How's going? How's things going for you?
Everything is going fine,
Good.
bro.
Mm,
I don't know, like the voice is too low, or like what is the issue?
My voice.
Oh, all right, it is going fine. Awesome.
Yeah. I think there is a typo in
So
the name as well. It's
hmm,
filter.
yeah,
There is
filter
a
copy.
typo. And there is a typo in the name as well. It's
Oh,
filter.
nice that we can edit, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, let me do it. All right, now it is edited, I guess.
Yes.
Yes.
Now
Okay.
it's ready.
So, can we like? Should we start? Because
Yeah.
where do we start?
Yeah. Actually, uh, it's a first time. We didn't plan a lot about this climate stream. So we can discuss about that podcast we both heard multiple times, and it is so relevant in the current time as well. So I think we have a lot of things to discuss over that podcast, and so relevant. It's a podcast with Varun Dugirala and with Anto Philip. uh, okay, what's your take on that particular podcast episode?
Okay. So this my friend over here is saying that you have to put a story on Instagram. Yeah, that you are live. So I'll do one thing. Where is this? Okay, I'll take the link and put. I'll share the link. So I have to just share the link and they can join. Okay.
Oh, just
YouTube
people can
link.
join the YouTube stream as well.
So this link, right? This share link. Okay, 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 okay. All right. We're just still figuring out, guys. That's the thing.
This is the first time we are doing YouTube
Yeah,
stream, so
I can see
so
myself here. Okay.
I
Uh,
want to see. I want to see the our connect to YouTube channel right now. How things are going.
I am seeing it that. Okay.
You're seeing. You're seeing
Yeah,
that.
I just saw that. I just saw that. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I like. Did you join using your phone? Your camera is
No.
like your phone is a camera.
No. 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 I think you're joined from phone,
Yeah,
or
I have
you're
joined
using
from
your.
phone. So you
So
can do one thing. Just can you please add a story
add a
so
story.
that people, like on
Do you
connectly
really
page.
want me to do that?
Okay, let it be.
Cool.
Today we'll try it out and we'll see next time.
Okay. So
Okay.
we'll keep it like this for this first time.
Yeah, we'll keep it like
Okay.
this
Okay.
today. Hmm. Cool.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, let's start then.
So where do we start?
You said that we're going to talk about this one and
Yeah, that
Ando
podcast.
Philip and
So
Varun the Girala podcast. Yeah. So let's set the context. I think it's from the podcast Take a Pause by Varun the Girala. Right. So I still
yeah,
remember listening to that and telling you, okay, you have to listen to this
yeah.
because that was like such a great episode or like such a great discussion. Because for people who don't know who Ando Philip is the founder of Under 25. Under 25 is like now like a large thing. A lot of
Hmm.
subdomains and so many different things are being running parallelly for them. And he is someone who started with few of his friends, I guess. So he have been creating content for a long time and he just vanished from Instagram. And not only just Instagram, from all the socials.
Yeah, that makes him so curious to know. That's a curious element, the unique element about that particular person make me to think much more about why he took that break, and he's having a 100K followers over there in most of the socials, and he's having a successful YouTube channel, and people are accepting the content content he's putting out, and people are having he's having a fan following, a good fan following in YouTube and Insta as well. And he was in the peak of his growth as a content creator, and he just vanished. I think
Hmm.
that needs some guts to do.
Yeah.
And he removed all his posts from all the socials. I think YouTube is there, but in Insta there is no post. It's only one post he launched during the launch of under 25 is one photo that creates a lot of curiosity. He comes in a very different attire. So,
Hmm.
and also I know this person from my college time onwards, because he's creating content. He's like a different style or a different facet of stand-up comedy. So and that note, he's so interesting for me. I so many new things are coming on the screen. I yeah. So what what is the one thing that uh, drag you to that particular person? And I'm interested to Varun Dugirala as well.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, like, yeah. Yeah,
it means
please say,
it
please,
means
please say.
Varun Dugirala is a person, a well-known media person, and he quit his startup, and currently he's writing his book and doing podcast and all, and he's literally enjoying or literally living the life the people wanted
Hmm.
in the media or in the corporate world. It's a different journey he took, a different path he took. So that makes the two individuals so special and drag me to that particular podcast. And
Yeah, like you asked me, right? Like, what is the take that I have on Anto Philip and Varun Vagera, right? Like, it's I can relate to that totally with Anto Philip thing, like, because he came back again to Instagram, but he said one thing that really hooked me into him. That is basically, he he was enjoying, like, he's a content creator, he's an artist. He said he's an artist, and he was creating content, he was experimenting content, he was creating the content he wanted to create, not for him, for others,
yes,
right? He was like putting art as a thing instead of being an influencer, or like creating for his thing. He was finding joy through creation. I don't know
yeah,
how many of the people can relate to that, but again, this is like the age of fame and money and power, especially being an influencer, or like a content creator, right? So in that age, this person is coming and saying like, okay, so I am like this person. I want to put out, create the best art that I can for someone else, right? I was enjoying that process, so I took a break. And why I said that I related, that is because I took a break from social media for like 6 months in
mm,
2019, and that was like the best time of my life, frankly speaking, because I was, again, there were like a lot of hardships. COVID was there. uh, yeah, it was 2020. Okay, sorry. So COVID was there. It was like a very tough time.
mm,
And the best part about that I felt is that that was that was the time where I connected more to myself and to my surroundings. And when I say surroundings, like people, even places, everything and everything that I could find, I was more connected to that.
hey, thing about I like that conversation about that particular part, the being not in socials, not in any social media platform. He sounds like a cleansing activity he's done in his life, like purifying all sort of toxicity, all sort of negative elements from the life. uh, that's a thing I learned from that particular conversation, because I didn't took a long break from any of the socials. I deactivated my Facebook account at the fourth year of my college life, but I didn't activate it till now. But so I know how much that contributed time to my life. Because if you are the it's something like the number of social media platform you are in is taking your time in multiple ways. If you are in social media, if you are in Instagram, if you are in WhatsApp, and if you are in YouTube, and you just imagine that if you are having a 4 hours break or a 4 hours time, you are splitting that time to different social media platforms without knowing.
Hmm.
Mhm. So if you can reduce the number of social media you are in, like you are limiting yourself to one or two media, it's something like you can save that time and you can use that time at least for yourself. Just sit idly without seeing something. You can think about yourself. You can involve with your thoughts in all that create that's an another discussion, but it helps you to know yourself better. And I think the core of that core of being quitting all sort of social media is involving with yourself, and you try to know yourself much better. That's a core idea behind that thing, as far as I know.
Hmm. Yeah, that's very true. Connecting, reconnecting, detaching, attaching to people, to places, and all that. So, what is that one movie that comes to your mind, like when you think about attachment and detachment? Like basically leaving behind things and just trying to reconnect or connect with yourself.
In sort of connections or attachments.
Attachments, I would say, not connections, like not relationships and all that. Just connecting with yourself. I think there are like a lot of movies which give that kind of thing. I think even the first thing that comes to my mind is like Charlie is one movie I would say that influenced a lot of people to do that. Like
Hmm.
enjoy your company and try to find yourself and that kind of aspect.
For me, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara is one among that particular uh, movies that uh, contribute a lot of ideas to my life as well. Because the character that Farhan Akhtar plays is having a lot of layers, and also he is also scared of a lot of attachments, and he's into life.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, I can totally relate to that. And again, like this bunny of Ye Jawani Ye Diwani.
Yeah, yeah, that is also one movie that makes me think a lot, that sometimes we need to left something to
Uh,
enjoy the moment. That's a very interesting thought, because we don't get all things to be done, all we can't live in a we can't live our life like a checklist. We have to tick
hmm,
all the boxes, and we have to, so sometimes we have to, there is an interesting movie line that okay, the life is too fast, sometimes you have to take stop and see the life, how it
hmm.
goes and how it evolves as well. And coming back to that podcast, so in as a creator, Andrew Philip is telling that okay, I'm a person who created that 100K followers, that even if I'm getting out of all sort of social media, maybe I would lose a lot of followers currently I'm having.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
after but he's very confident about himself, and he's telling that okay, if I'm able to create that 100K followers, I'm still can recreate it, or I still can earn that people who are not there.
Yeah,
uh,
there is also this one thing that is setting with that. That is like, I don't want everyone to follow me, right?
yeah,
I
that's
don't want
exactly.
like, yeah, like, if you don't like my content, don't follow me. Like, I don't like, it's okay. I am like, I'm creating content only for me and the people who would love that content. Like, I don't want everyone to join me. I don't want to build a social presence, or like, like, it's like 100K followers is a thing, but it's like,
Hmm.
I am not someone who is like, okay, like worshiping that 100K as a thing.
And also, as a content creator, you are having a followership right now, and it's a decent followership now. So there is a kind of pressure coming along with that followership, no? Okay, before having any sort of followership, you are having a maybe 1,000 followership. Imagine you are having 1,000 followers, but at that time you have a freedom of something that you can do really want. But
Hmm.
now when you are creating a new content, you have to think about in multiple facets, multiple layers, multiple perspectives as well.
No, can
So
I actually
mm,
say a good thing about it?
mm, yeah.
Okay, like now, as I have shit, I'm trying to like just turn around and message, but I can do it. Okay,
Mm, yeah.
there is a good thing about it. That is something that like I think last time we spoke about this, I told you, okay, like you have to think a lot about that. That again provoked me to think more about that. And you know what I found out? The thing I found out was that it is actually like I've been creating content, thinking like I want to create the best content, this content. But again, there was this thing in my mind. Okay, I want my content to work as well, right? So I want my content to reach audience, and also that content to work better as well, right? Now the thing is, as I have like enough social presence right now, I can create content that 100% resonate with me, and still
Mm.
that
Somebody will
that reel
react
or
to
that
that particular.
video could reach to bigger audience, so that I can even filter out the people who will come again.
But there is one thing we need to think about, no? Because so if you are creating a content, for example, I am creating a content, for sake of that, to reach the bigger audience, there is something called mass production. The mass will like this particular type of content, type
Hmm.
of topics as well. So there is something, there is a saturation point for a person to know about a particular topic. So if I created 5 or 10 reels or videos related to that particular topic, maybe it is a saturation point for me
Hmm.
to present that topic in very beautiful manner or in a decent manner.
Hmm.
And if you are forced to beyond that particular saturation point, because of that people like that particular topic, it's something very awkward now. After you're if you're looking back to your videos after 1 year, you can't relate to the person you really are.
Hmm. Yeah, that's also there. Like that's very true. Like now when I look back, like as you said, right? I've been
Mm,
creating videos for like what 1.5 years now, right? Now, like even today, you know, one of my like students, they were saying me like, okay, like I just went and saw your first video. I really couldn't, relate to who you are right now. Like it was just it is just a completely different person you are right now, like you're creating content right now. So it's like there is like a lot of evolution that happens, obviously. But again,
mm,
when you compare, right, comparing the audience that you have right now, and also maybe it's also like maybe one more thing. Okay, like as I said right now, that perspective of mine, uh, where I said, okay, I can create any content I want, that is also taking people for granted, frankly speaking. That okay, now I
mm.
can, like, now I have this, I can create any content that will be accepted.
But I want to think that idea in a different perspective, because as a person, as a content creator, as a entertainer, or as
Hmm.
a teacher, anything you can consider, you have to uplift your audience with
Hmm.
your ideas. Maybe that idea won't work on that particular context or at that present. So maybe it will find its space after 6 months or 1 year or 2 year. But you think beyond the time, or you
Hmm.
creating an art form or creating a content beyond the time, that makes you unique from the all the other creators in the business, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely,
so
absolutely.
so maybe that particular content you are creating on that particular context is not welcomed properly, but eventually it will find its space or find its audience. So
Hmm. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the thing I look upon, to that particular ideas and
Yeah,
Yeah, go on,
when
go
I
on.
I create content, the same thing. I create content. I only have one thing in my mind. Even after 3 years, if people are coming back and watching any of my content, they want to see that as a relevant content. I don't want to create a content which is momentarily, like
Mm,
temporary. For example, uh, one thing I've understood about growing on Instagram is you're relevant for only a short period of time. Okay, it is very easy to grow on Instagram, but you are like relevant only for a short period of time. Okay, but
mm,
some people are relevant for a longer period of time, and that is one thing I've understood is that they have untimely content already on their page enough.
mm,
Okay, that is okay, you create content some relatable content, memes or something. Some of the creators memes and all of that is like very relevant. They create content for themselves, relevant content. Okay,
mm,
it's like okay, they find joy in creating. But some
mm,
people, they create content like moment jacking, trend jacking, that might not be like applicable even after like 5 years, 10 years, no. Or like 2 months, 3 months, no.
yeah, yeah.
But I only had one thought in my mind. Maybe that is why, one thing I found out is that I've been creating content, enough content, that was like I was very true to that content from the beginning, right? And
Mm,
it took me 1.5 years to show some growth, right? To reach an
mm,
extent, right? Till then I
mm,
was creating content, I was not focusing on who was watching and all that. I was creating content which was relevant, and I
mm,
built a foundation. People who wanted that content, I believe that the first 3,000 or like 5,000 people who follow you should is your foundation, is your base, and it is through you should grow, right? It is through them
mm,
you should grow. So in that context again, what happened was that as I created content, okay, as I created content, which was already there, where I was like I was creating again, as I said, I wanted to create, but on Instagram, like you are relevant only for a shorter period of time, right? And that shorter period of time, you have to take the maximum leverage if you're thinking about growth. But on
mm,
YouTube again, okay, your content is not growing fast, but on Instagram it is going fast, right?
mm,
On YouTube, it's like, suppose let's say you create content thinking okay, in 2 years, 3 years, it's like an investment on YouTube, a business on
mm.
YouTube. It'll take time to catch up, right? So when something comes, I've seen that some of the videos, it picks up its momentum after like 5 months, 6 months,
Mm.
right? So that is again, as because of the things you said, right? That is like okay, you create content not for just today, you create content for tomorrow, or maybe after, like content that will be relevant even after 5 months, something useful at any point of time. That content is really what matters, and the growth for that is very slow, obviously.
Yeah. Recently, I saw an interview with Ranveer Halabadi, and he said that he is not into vlogging. Doesn't want to do daily vlogs, but
Hmm.
he was insisted by his PR agency or PR network to showcase his other side, beyond the
Funny side.
beyond the face of beyond the funny side, beyond the
Hmm.
interviewer face. The people only
Hmm.
know the person who interviews, who take podcast interviews, but
Yeah.
the people also want, if you want to grow as a person beyond a point, you want to expose your personal life and you as a person, and to implement
Hmm.
that or to imbibe that character into people's heart, you have to do the daily vlogs. But and he told that I've stopped that
Hmm.
because I don't like to do that, because I'm forced to do the forced to do that particular thing. So that's the thing with the forced kind of content creation. So if you are if you're forced to do something, to create something, I believe there is a saturation point.
Hmm.
You eventually you will start hating making that content creation process.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Completely agreed. I still remember my first brand deal. Uh, yeah, the condition they have set. That was the first time I understood. Okay, how much of a pain it is to work with brands, like for creators. Like I didn't know. I never had a prior experience with that. Like they came up and told me, okay, we want this content. We want you to create a content on this, and like we want this thing. and we want 300k views. This I can show that, like, this is this thing. Okay, we want your reel to create 300k like views. And I was like,
Hmm.
what? I can't guarantee you, like, none, like, my reels or like my content working 300k reels is not my priority. Like, I create content. I only have this rule of 1 by third. Okay, I have this rule which I've been following since the beginning, because I don't compare myself to any of the content creators out. I only compare my content with myself. Okay, and that is where I follow the rule of 1 by third. That is, if any of the content that I produce, it creates 1 by third of engagement in views, that is a successful content. Like, it's a good return on investment for me. That is how I measure growth. Like, okay, whether my content works or not. Because anything more than, like, if I was stick around like 1.5, that is like a huge what will I say, standard that I set for me. And I know that I'm not that good. I'm still learning, right? So I fixed that 1 by third thing. And in the same way, these people came into like at 300k. I told this, the first thing I told was like, okay, I can't do that, like, because I cannot guarantee that to you. And that is my audience. I know my audience. Okay, my audience only wants this type of content, right? I create this type of content to my audience, and I'll only give this type of audience, like, content to my audience. I'll not do an like a content like, okay, hey, I got this product, you should try out. No, I'm not going to do that. If they're getting something from me, it should be genuine. Only if I resonate, I'll do that. And they were like, it took 2 weeks to basically 2 weeks of talking. Like, they literally spoke with me 3 times over phone. And still I was like, okay, I told a payment, and I told them it's not about the payment also, I want this to to be as well. And they told me, okay, they can't do that, and like, they want to work with me and all that. And I told, if you want to work with me, okay, let's work, but this is my condition. If you set the condition, I also have condition. This is the condition. And after 2 weeks, they said, okay, you do like a content, and we'll see. I did it. Like, I did the first thing, and I was like so happy to do that, but still I was not happy to do that.
That's because only the confidence you have in yourself, because people start depending on this brand to survive in the content creation game, or else they we discussed this a lot of time, because people depending on this brand collaborations and all sort of things for their daily living. They have no choice, just they have to they have to agree with all the conditions they are putting by the brand. And so in that case, I, as a content creator, as a budding content creator, I just have the only one condition I put into my content creation criteria, that I only create the contents that I genuinely enjoy.
Hmm.
Because I don't want a growth game or the rat race in my content creation. uh, I don't want to sacrifice on that particular thing, because I only created for only for the my pleasure of creating art, and also I want people to enjoy that as well. But if
Hmm.
I'm not enjoying that particular content creation, who are going to enjoy that particular thing? And
Yeah, that's
there
very
is a
true.
hmm. And there is
Hmm.
one interesting thing that Ando Philip done as well, because he told that, okay, I created content in very consistent manner to for a sake of creating discipline of content creation.
Hmm.
And when I reached a point, okay, I can do it consistently, I can produce content consistently, I stopped at that particular moment.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
I can resonate. And also, there is one more thing he said that, right? I was my own case study.
yeah,
Like,
that's very interesting.
yeah, I think yeah, I was my own case study. Like, you are your own case study. Like, you can experiment anything on you. There is no rules, regulations, nothing. You can create the content you want to create. There is nothing for controlling and asking, okay, you want to create this many views, this many things, and all that, isn't it?
Actually, this content creation game is giving a lot of freedom for the content creations, content creators to experiment, because
Hmm.
YouTube is enabling the or a large number of audience, because you can put out anything. Maybe on over a period of time, the audience will find you, or audience will reach you. That's the beauty of this platform, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. Like, I don't know if you have tried. I think, yeah, you also tried. Like, we always have this conversation, right? Okay, I want to like break this structure of how I'm doing the content right now, right?
Yeah.
Or I want to, like, I'm doing the content in this framework, but I want to create a new framework. Or I want to try out something new. And that everyone will not try that because, as far as I know, okay, I'll share a story. I was talking to this YouTuber who recently hit 1 million subs on YouTube. So I was talking to this person, and he said like he create funny videos, like very relatable funny videos, and his videos are like so good. Okay, like extremely good. But one thing when I analyzed his videos, I found out was that every video of his had the same structure.
Hmm.
Okay, it's like okay, he have cracked how to create the best videos that will bring in views. Okay, that was how he was doing, and he was doing that since I think for 1.5 years or something. That same thing. Before that,
Hmm.
he again grew like for around I think for 5 to 6 months. Nothing happened. He was just creating videos, and suddenly he changed something and stick on to that, and everything changed. So I was talking to this
Hmm.
person, and he said yeah, I'm creating videos, I'm enjoying that, I'm making money, and now I'm like having my life. People are like recognizing me. And recently, when I saw him, like I we actually spoke on text, and recently I saw that person, and we were on a public place, like a flea. Okay,
Hmm.
flea is happening, and people recognize that person. They come and they respect and they take photos and all that. Okay, and he's
Hmm.
still sticking on with that same structure and framework. So I asked about him, like you're creating good content, why don't you experiment with this, maybe longer format, or like some other kind of videos and all that. It's like, okay, that will not work. And the primary reason that he said for that is like, it's not that I don't want to create that, but this is my food. Like he's a full-time creator. He gets his income only from YouTube and like brand
Hmm.
promotions, inaugurations, events, and all of that. So that's
Hey,
like the room for that is limited for him.
hey, that's why I relate to the person Hari Shivaram a lot, because we used to discuss a lot about him, because he's a lead singer of the band Agam, and
Agam.
also
Yeah.
yeah, he's a playback singer, and he's a very successful playback singer, but still he's a design head of Cred. When people think about that particular person, and we should have that question comes to our mind, that okay, why he is working still? He can be a playback singer, full-time playback singer. He can travel around the world with the band. He's doing that, he's singing, he's traveling with his band, and he's doing shows all around the world. And but still he is a design head of Cred.
Hmm.
And the reason he's giving for that particular thing is that I don't want my art form to be the medium to provide food for me, because I don't want to compromise anything on that particular thing. I want as genuine as true to that art, because
Hmm.
as you said, no, there is a kind of structures people are creating, or there's some framework people are creating. So when they crack that, they know, okay, this will work, this won't work. But as a creator, you lost that particular interest, or uh, high you are getting from creating content, no? So everything, every time if I try a new thing or something, or a new edition of music, a new cut, a new anything, you learn yourself and you implement on your particular content creation, and you break that, okay, it's at least the 1% is different from the other, the previous one. So
Hmm.
the people can't judge, or people can't expect that particular person to travel on this particular path, okay? And that creates a curiosity about that content creator. Okay, he can be this and he can be that also. He
Hmm.
can be a hero and he can be a villain as well.
Hmm. Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah. That's very true.
and at the same time, people are there is a fan base for the content creators as well in the current society. So I felt, okay, I want to be as genuine as I am in my real life. So I don't want to be a, I always want to be in a gray shade because I am a gray person. Means I'm not in a 100% a white person or 100% black person. I am in the middle ground. So people only look up the positive things, and the way people are accepting you as a person, and they're having a fan base on you, or fandom on that particular person. A small thing that twist or that create the upside down of the fandom.
Hmm.
That's a
Yeah,
huge responsibility as well.
yeah, that's like very, very true because one thing I'll share. Okay, I think I have not said to you as well this today, not today. Yesterday, I got a message. Okay, and this message was from a person who have been following me from the beginning. Okay,
Hmm.
so the last two reels I have posted,
Hmm.
it's kind of having. It's not how like. It's not the content that I used to produce. It's very different.
Hmm.
uh, one was what, not everyone is toxic, and not every, what is that, yeah, how to forget a person, and what was the last one, I think not everyone is toxic. Okay,
Hmm.
so that is not the content that I used to create. So my content had a framework. Okay, my
Hmm.
content had a strategy. Most of the content that I've been doing for the last, I would say, 4 months, I created a framework based on all my experiments for almost 1.5 years, and I built my own framework. I'm still focusing that. I'm like still like creating different things out of it. Okay, so last two things I did was completely different. It was like a spoken word thing. Okay, like I was playing with words, and this person texts me asking, dude, like, is everything all right on your side? Because the last two reels that you created, I saw the story and the reels and all that, I felt like something is wrong. Is that the case? If you feel like you want to share something, you can talk with me. I was like, oh, because like, that created a persona of me, like an avatar of me, that like I'm this, that I can only create this. And
Hmm.
I think you also said this to me, like,
Hmm.
I think you should change your, like, the way,
Hmm.
like, something new, like different type of
Hmm.
content and all that. I knew that I wanted to change. I'm still experimenting. Okay, like I'm not saying like this train, like strategy. I know what works, and I know that if I create a reel, this will work or not now. Okay,
Hmm.
and I was not expecting these reels to work, but again I had this 50-50 thing because it's a new experiment, right? So it might not resonate with my audience, but I have
Hmm.
done enough things to make sure that okay, this resonate with my audience as well. But how it resonated was that, okay, for people who knew me as a worker of my brand, that is Rizmango, they thought,
Hmm.
okay, this guy is having some problem, or like, I'm going through
Yeah.
from trouble or
Yeah.
something like that.
Hey, the people themselves create a persona about a person
Hmm.
with the actually right now the social media is the textbook for the person to judge a person, to know a person a lot, because if you are the social media says a lot about that particular person. So if a person who are putting continuously putting about a very positive stuff and very, something like very party stuffs, right?
Hmm.
So if they are posting a very normal content or a very thoughtful philosophy, the people will ask them, what is the problem? Is there any problem?
Yeah.
Because they are not allowed to do that.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Uh,
Naval Ravikant, right?
yeah.
Yeah, Naval Ravikant is a tech guy.
Hmm.
Okay, like he's a technology investor. He's an engineer. He's this person who have invested, I think, lots and lots of Silicon Valley companies, and he have been a technology mentor and a very great, person, technology side, in this technology side. For the last almost 10 years, he have been preaching philosophies. Okay, initially when he started to talk about philosophies, uh, people thought he went mad,
Yeah.
like because he was talking so many things which was completely opposite to what he was following, or like, his companies, not his companies were following
Hmm.
back then. So I think on Joe Rogan itself, I guess when he spoke about this, he was like, okay, I started to talk about philosophy, and people started, like, the investors started to take out money from my companies, thinking I'm going to lose all this, like, because this is not me. Like, they thought I'm mad
Hmm.
because I was talking so many things and all that. Now he created such an audience for his philosophical side as well. He combines both, like the technology, the wealth, as well as health. Right? There is this beautiful thread on Twitter. Just go to Twitter and type Naval. You'll see a pinned tweet. How to
Hmm.
get wealthy. I think how to get rich without being lucky is the title of that. It's a beautiful thread. And based on that thread, even there is a book that is created based on a thread, and that too, it was
Hmm.
not written by him. Others decoded that tweet. It is such a beautiful post.
Yeah, I also saw some of the tweet decoded by Tanmay, but and Ankur Wariko, that live session in YouTube.
Hmm.
It's so beautiful that how people are reading between the lines.
Absolutely
Yeah,
right.
and I also like the people who are having that conflict, the people who have the courage to break that preset created by the society. Because as Rizwan is this, and he will be only doing this particular thing, and he is not allowed to do that particular thing. And I like the people. I have a huge respect for that kind of people who are ready to break all the barriers or the preset created by the society. Is one Naval Ravikant is one among them. And I like, for example, there is one guy, Hari Shivaramishan is one among them. And there is one guy, there is one friend of mine, and he's very when you talk to that particular guy, he always talk about philosophies, deep things, deep thoughts, and deep philosophies and all.
Hmm.
And one day I came across to his home, and he's watching very comical stuffs,
Hmm.
very cringe stuff that people will cringe about him. And he tell that it's my right, uh,
Yeah.
because I talk about philosophies, because I talk preach about a lot of deep thoughts. Who are the people who can take my freedom to watch this particular thing? I am only into this particular thing. So people have to break that particular step. And the society also creates some sort of looks for all sort of people. So there is a, for example, okay, a nerd guy should be look like this. He should have
Hmm.
spectacles, and he should have a long hair and long beard. And people want to accept that particular guys without that particular appearances, right?
Absolutely. What is this? I was, I was meeting this person. I
Hmm.
thought, okay, I was meeting this person. This person was like completely. I think I was in Varkala. Okay,
Hmm.
I was just sitting. This guy's like smoking a cigarette. There is a
Hmm.
beer in front of him, and there is a laptop. And this guy is bald, completely shaven. Nothing
Hmm.
is there. Just like a mustache is there, and it's like not even trimmed. And you like it's like an ugly look first,
Hmm.
but he was like very gentleman like. Okay, and he wore
Hmm.
a short and like a very loose t-shirt. And
Hmm.
we were like, I was there for a few days, like a staycation I was doing. And we started to talk, and like it's like, I was staying in this hostel. Okay, and we can meet a
Hmm.
lot of people there, right? So this was the
Hmm.
first person who was there, because he was like, he booked, like the person, the receptionist told me, okay, this guy booked the stay for 4 months.
Hmm.
Okay, so he was staying there for 4 months, and he's been there for some like long time. And I met, he's in this rooftop, and that is where most of the people work. There is a pantry and all that. This guy just sits and smokes all the day. Okay, but he'll
Okay.
be working. Okay,
Hmm.
he'll be working and all that. He'll just always have like a cigarette in his hand, and he'll be smoking. And he's like not. If you look at his face, it's kind of intimidating. He's like this very gentleman. Like, usually
Hmm.
will not like, especially people like our age will not go and talk. It's like
Hmm.
that, like a father figure. Okay,
Okay.
so I had no option to connect the charger. I
Hmm.
was like, okay, kind of intimidated, but I just asked him, can I just, plug this charger and sit here? I was like, yeah, yeah, sure. Like, it was like very sweet and kind and all that. I was like, yes, I just sat there and I was like working. Then after some time I took the courage to basically ask him, like, hey, like, what's your name, and what do you do and all that. It is then I realized that this guy is some big thing in Amazon.
Hmm.
And like he's been working in Amazon for 15 years.
Hmm.
Okay, and the next promotion he has will give him direct stocks, shares in Amazon.
Hmm.
Okay. But if you look at that person, you'll say, okay, this guy is like a, ganja person. Like, he's like who just roam around. He's like a smuggler, drug dealer or something. Like very intimidating, but a gentlemanish look. But if you look at this
Hmm.
person, it's like, okay, who's this guy? Just like that. That's gone. Okay, that's done. Then comes another guy. Okay, he has a guitar, and he's like this hippie kind, this curly hair. Hari
Hmm.
Shivaramishran,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Exactly like him. Like, long hair, like full of curls. He's like fat, like, hippie, like bob kind of dressing and all that. He has a guitar and he comes like, hey, what, ma'am. He's like very, very, what will I say? Open, like outgoing. It's like very
Hmm.
extroverted. It's like, he just goes to everyone. It's like, hey guys, like, I'm this person. I'm like a singer songwriter. I do this, I do that. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I had this image, okay, he's like this successful musician, he's like very happy. He's like he brings very good positive vibes. Once I got to know him better, he's like the most shattered person I can ever know.
That I can totally relate. I means the people who are showing off how outward means putting a lot of stuff and vibrant thing. There is a quote from Jittu Krishnamurti, and there is it's only because of the inward poverty.
Oh, okay, that hurts. That burns basically. And also, I don't know how many of you know Jay Z. You know Jay Z?
JC,
Jay
I
Z, the
don't know.
musician. Okay, Jay Z is like a big rapper. Okay,
Hmm.
and Jay Z used to wear all those gold chains and like
Hmm.
very bright. You know how the English rappers are like. They have
Yeah.
this golden teeth, braces, and all that. So this guy had like full golden chains. He used to dress up like that when he was
Hmm.
nothing. He was this
Hmm.
initial stage. Okay, now if you look up Jay Z, he's like he don't wear brand clothes. You cannot see anything he's showing off. He's like
Hmm.
very clean, just a simple t-shirt. He just goes out to me. I think he was with um, Obama or something. He was just in a very normal clean dress. But when you look at some other rappers, like, there are some very highly successful rappers. Even if you look at Eminem is like just like a hoodie guy, right? Eminem is
Hmm.
like such a successful musician, just a hoodie guy. But Jay-Z's transformation is like, okay, when he had nothing, he was just showing off. But when he like, he's worth billions now, I think millions, or I don't know
Yeah.
whether he's a billionaire. He's like, okay, I don't have to show anyone. I
Yeah.
just keep it with myself. Like, I'm just clean.
And it's also the confidence that people are gaining about themselves. It's
Hmm.
sometimes there is a lot of people who are not into any kind of brands, any kind of the society accepted standard stuffs, no, that people will
Hmm.
grab respect for that particular person. And all sort of the brands or the branded items that we are getting, no, it's something is adding on to your confidence, how you are presented in front of the people. That's why
Hmm.
we are preferring a lot of brand. But when you reach a point beyond, okay, it's not about the brands, it's not about the shirt I'm wearing, it's not about the clothes I'm wearing, it's about me, people are respecting me.
Hmm. Yeah, that's very true. Being a content creator is also like something like that. I feel like, this episode with Ankur Warikyu and finance, like Sharon, finance with
Mm.
Sharon. I think we have said this. Like, Sharon is saying, like, the first question I think asked is, like, how is it being like finance with Sharon? Are you exactly finance with Sharon in real life? It's like, no, like, I am I am the worker or an employee of Financial Charan brand that I've created a persona.
Mm.
I have another side, right? A creator, an artist, a human being. Rather than
Mm.
being Financial Charan in real life, I'm not that person. And I think even creators need to understand that. Like they have to stay, they can try out everything, and maybe like however they want. I don't even say that, I will not even say that a creator cannot be someone working for money, not like that, because we don't know the context, right? So let everyone be. But I think at least at the core, as an artist, even if the situations doesn't allow you to, I feel that a content creator should have some ethics, that in the way that they create content. Like it shouldn't that okay, the content should work for them rather than they working for content.
It's that political correctness thing, no? Is, as Mohsin Perari said in one of the interviews, it's your political correctness is depending upon how you act when you are alone, not
Hmm.
how, not that you are how you act when a lot of people are around.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
and people will understand that particular thing maybe in a long term. People, we also have something we don't know. And coming back to that podcast that you are discussing, and there is one interesting thing that Ando Philip said, that there is three things that there is some things that you know, and there is something that you don't know, and there is something that you don't know
You
you
know?
don't know.
Yeah, exactly. That is like,
That
that
is,
blew my mind actually.
yeah, yeah. That actually, it's something like a volcanic eruption in my mind. Oh man, what the thought?
Absolutely,
It's
absolutely. How many times do we think about that, right? Okay, we know that we know something, we know we don't know something, but I don't know whether I've ever thought in my life that okay, you don't know,
you don't know, you don't know
you don't know,
something.
right? Yeah. And after that, I've
That
thought about that. That was like,
yeah.
damn, it's like so good. It's very deep, and it's like
Deep.
Socrates level kind of thing.
Yeah, but he said in a very casual way, man, that it means there are some people who can put out a complex thought in a very simpler, they can break down that complexity into a simple thought.
Hmm.
That makes a content creator, that makes a storyteller very special. Some breaking down that complexity into very simple form that people can digest, no.
Yeah.
Hmm. So that is a one takeaway of the main takeaway of that particular thing. So I constantly think about that particular thing. And there is one thing about Jitu Krishnamurti also said about similar to this particular thing. Jitu Krishnamurti said that observer is being observed, and you are the observer and you are being observed.
Hmm.
When you leave with that particular thought, there is a kind of loop you are getting into, that you are okay, your action is depending upon you feel that I am observed.
Hmm.
So every action has that's response or retardation of that particular thought. Okay, I'm being observed, I'm doing this, okay, so I have to do better. but but we can't get a particular step beyond that particular loop. Okay, I'm being observed and I'm in that loop, so that resists my action.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know whose actual quote is this, but I've heard Jay Shetty say this. Like, you're not what you think you are what you think. Okay, all right. So, you're not what you think you are
Hmm.
what you think you are.
Okay.
Right. Like, it's like for me, it's not about how I act, is basically according to my thought of how you judge me, right?
It's something such similar. I have a persona or imagination about Rizwan. I created Rizwan. I'm not loving Rizwan as a person in real, but I'm loving that image that I created with the habitual things that you contributed in that friendship, and your how you behave, how you react. And so there is people, I heard a lot of people saying that he break that image, or he breaks my heart. And
Hmm.
so the one thing Jittu Krishnamurti said is very interesting, that it's not them breaking your heart, it's you creating
You breaking.
your heart, your heart, because you had created the image of that particular person in your mind, and you are adding a lot of beauty and not a lot of colors to that. And after
Mm.
that, when they act against that particular image, at that point you feel that you are broken because of the act by that particular person.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, that's very true. Like, most of the time we, like, most of the time we only get into trouble, right? Thinking, okay, like we get into some conclusions that ultimately we also think, okay, that is not like that could not be right, but we still feel like, okay, we overthink so many things, right? And that also can
Hmm.
ultimately get us into some trouble or something like that as well, right? So it's like
Yes.
perception of, we all live in perception of perceptions,
Hmm. Yeah.
right?
I like that thing very, very much. So yeah, I think we spoke a lot of deep things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm like I can like I don't know, like I look, my eyes are like very, like sleepy, I think tired, I don't know why. Maybe because I'm tired. And we spoke so many different things, but I really enjoyed this. And this is the first time I'm like still working on understanding the interface that we're using. uh,
How it works and how it gonna do it. I'm also having a confusion, but I'm in a very peaceful thing because yeah, you are handling it correctly, so I don't have to take responsibility of that particular thing. So
Yeah, now my next doubt, my next struggle is basically whether I like, if I end this broadcast, will it upload or like will it be there? I don't know how it will be, right? So I'm like very curious to know how this also goes.
let's see how it turn out. But
So
I
yeah,
really enjoyed this conversation because even if it is not uploaded or even if it's uploaded, both in both case I really enjoyed this podcast. And this is not a podcast, it's a live session, right? So being a podcaster, everything that word comes to my mind, okay. Being a podcasting thing. So let's see whether it is get uploaded. I think it's a best thing, it's a best episode to start with, it's the best
yeah,
conversation to start with.
awesome. So now I'm excited. Like now I'm all energized because I had a beautiful conversation and it was good. Personally, I could look back at so many things, and one of the most beautiful episodes, one of the great episodes that I've listened like that we have listened to
Yeah.
in podcasts as well. So yeah, I hope we'll have this more often,
And
and you can find us here often. So yeah, go on, go on.
having a huge respect to Varun Dugirala and Andrew Philip, and if you are
And
guys, we can tag them in this conversation as well. When, if you hear this conversation, guys, please come into our live session and join us. We are very
absolutely.
eager. We are very eager to talk to you guys. You are doing very awesome stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
huge, like mad respect to how Ando Phillips' mind works, his team
Yeah.
works, his content, his like the brands he works with are like great brands, but it's not about that. The content they create, his team and like Under 25 creates is like very amazing, very helpful, and very promising, and sometimes even very relieving in lot sense as well. Whether it is like dictionary,
I'm a very
yeah,
very big fan of that their dictionaries. So they are putting out a very cool stuff, and also they're creating a curiosity. What is under 25? What is under 25? And we
yeah.
also discussed it several times. We don't know. Oh, what is under 20? They are doing. They're just giving clues in some word.
Hmm.
Okay, this
Beautiful
can be
content
this.
creation they do. And even
Yeah.
Varun Dugirala, I used to think, this guy deserves a lot more like respect, or like this guy deserves like a lot more following or thing. And I was always sad for Varun Dugirala, like thinking, okay, why is that people are not following this guy? Like, why is that people are not learning from him? And
And
now when I look back, it's I also like, it's not about I know that it's not about the following and all that, but I want these kind of people to be respected, at least visibly as well, right? So now when I look back, like look at his account, okay, now he's getting the respect and the value and the people base that he would deserve to have as well.
look, what make Varun Dugirala special for me, because he's a person who is in further in media industry for a long period of time, and he knows that algorithm works and how people
Mm,
take the content. He especially is an editor, especially he's a show creator, so he knows
mm,
how to handle the people's emotion, play with the people emotion. But he have that brilliance, but
Hmm.
he doesn't use that in his podcast because he want his content to be real, and he
Hmm.
want to put out stuff to be real. So I like that attitude of him. Okay, I actually enjoying this content creation, people will eventually come out. So
Yeah.
I like that
That's
idea.
exactly what
And
happened, right? That's exactly
yeah,
what happened. During COVID time, he was creating fitness videos. Like he
yeah.
was posting
uh,
fitness videos.
Very interesting thing, no? At the Monday morning, he talks about career,
Hmm.
and at at Friday evening he talks about life and philosophies. So it's very interesting thought. Okay, eh, I'm a person who's start Monday with a very bunch of energy
Positive
because I
thoughts. Yeah, bunch
yeah
of
because
energy.
I
Yeah.
need that to be the vehicle to be run. So I'm into sales, so I need that motivation, how to break down things, how to crack that particular sales thing, no? So he gave a lot of insights to my career as well. And at the time, okay, after the weekend, okay, there is a time that I have to cool down, I have to break down myself, to I have to travel to myself. So at that time he comes with some sort of philosophical things. Okay, so the idea is so cool. I have a mad respect for him for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And still, there is, I feel like, a lot more great content that Varun Dugirala can create using his leverage, which we spoke about earlier, and we are expecting that to be created as well. And again, mad respect to this person because he's like a veteran in the media industry in India, but still he
Yeah.
has not used, he's standing in queue to attend something. He's still like that. I'll go slow. I'll go as how everyone is going, which is like a very great thing to happen as well. So yeah, learning a lot from Varun Dugi and even Anto Philip every day. So I think one day we'll have maybe like a live with,
Manifesting, strong
yeah,
manifestation is happening in my mind.
exactly. Every day we're manifesting someone, and maybe one day or not, we'll
Will
have
be.
them, right?
We'll have them.
Absolutely. So today we
So
had four maximum people joining the live. Maybe that will also grow. Then it's like this is like the huge success. Four
yeah,
people joined
four.
and all that.
I didn't expect anyone to join, but there is four.
Absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. And
Yeah.
one person outside the circle that we expected also joined. So that's like the huge success. So thank you so
Okay.
much. I think we should wind this, right?
Yeah. 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 It's
Awesome.
about
So
more
yeah,
than one
see you
hour.
next time.
See you
Bye
next
bye.
time. Bye.
Take care.